for Scrapfive for the month of June. Scrapfive is essentially what it sounds like. It's a challenge where we have 5 products, items, or even sometimes it's like maybe a technique, that kind of thing, that we have to use to complete a layout. So I showed you what our 5 were for the month of June, and then I'm adding one extra element of my own. I'm also following along with the best of the 30 Days of Sketches series from Christy's Beautiful Life. So for the month of June, we are playing along with kind of like the most popular or the favorites or the best sketches from the last 9 series. So they're all sketches that you've seen before, but it's just kind of been fun to revisit some of them. Some I never did, and so I'm trying to get to those ones especially because it'll be the first time, but there's a lot of favorites in here too. So that's my extra little element that I'm adding in. So I showed you the sketch at the beginning. It's an Allison Davis sketch from Scrapbook Generation, and I also showed you the 5 items for this challenge. So without having the list right in front of me, let me see if I can remember. We had to use washi, use brads, add stamping, use a 40-60 split, and there's always one that I don't remember. But when I see it, I will definitely let you know that that's what it is. And so I actually thought that this sketch kind of works out well because for me, this is sort of a 40-60 split, with 60% of the page being the dark blue background and then the 40% being these strips right here that I'm going to add in. And then there is a little embellishment off on the right hand side, but I think it probably fits. So I'm using Sunkissed by Cocoa Vanilla. It's just this really beautiful, I love kind of the bright, crisp, bold colors. And yeah, it's just a fun collection and I couldn't wait to start using it. I have some pictures from the boys when they were teeny tiny, jumping off of the diving boards at a pool that we went to. We were just on kind of a fun summer road trip with my parents, and so I kind of had fun putting together a bit of a summary layout. So I pulled out the blue paper. I knew that this blue paper was in there and I thought that it would make a good background, kind of that whole, pool vibes and the water. And as I was looking through the other papers, the top page was kind of lying there, and I realized that all of the little samplings of the patterns that are in the collection are the rows that I actually needed to create the design that I was going for. So I went ahead and cut those. I did kind of toy with the idea of using the whole thing and maybe trying to find a way to cover up just the little ad part with the name of the collection and some of the details of what was in this pack. But in the end, I just cut the section that didn't have any of that. And because I knew I needed to add some washi, I just kind of elongated the this row here by adding, I think in the end I add 4 strips of washi tape. Right now I've only added 2 of them. I'm going to come back and add two more. So there is my washi kind of added right away, just to make sure I didn't forget about it, because that was the one I thought I would probably forget about. And so now I've kind of got that whole design element started, and I have all those fun little pops of color because I've got all of the patterns. So I'm just matting my 2 pictures here. I am actually using the right pictures this time. That's something I don't tend to do when I'm following a sketch. I usually kind of, take my own path when it comes to the pictures I'm using. But in this case, I am using the right little size here. And I'm just going to give them a matte because there is a lot of pattern going on. And so I want to make sure that they kind of have their own weight and that they really stand out. on the pattern, but also on that dark blue. And you can see one picture is definitely a lot darker than the other. It was just backlit funny and probably, clouds went by or something. So I put that one where all the patterns are just to kind of brighten it up a little bit. And then the brighter photo is going to go on the dark blue. So there's just a little bit of contrast there to help make sure that the pictures pop. So here are my other washi tapes. I just felt like I wanted it to be a little bit longer and kind of give that section more weight. But I still think it qualifies as 40% of the layout, hopefully. And so, oh yes, here we go. So the one that I forgot is you had to create a tag and then use it in your layout. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to take this little section. This paper collection that I got like the collection pack. There's 2 of each paper. So I was kind of okay cutting some of this stuff up and just using as much of it as I wanted because I know I have another piece. So I cut that little card from the cut apart sheet and turned it into a tag. And now it just gives me a little bit more to work with in this whole sort of cluster that runs along the edge of my little strips of paper. Well, I guess in my layout, they're not actually strips, but in the sketch, they are strips of paper. So, yeah, it just kind of meant that I could bulk up on all my little die cuts here and make everything look a little bit more full. And those are all from the same collection. I told myself that I wouldn't be stingy with this collection, but now I find that I am. I'm kind of being a little bit more picky and choosy than I thought I was going to be. But I do have 2 sets of this sticker sheet, and I do have all of the papers, which obviously have like 2 pages. So really the only thing I might have to be a little bit stingy or just watch that it kind of follows the collection is those die cuts. So I didn't want to start using up a whole bunch of them if I could, kind of save a few to get as many layouts out of this collection as possible. So now I'm going to add my stamping, and these are my brads. I also use some of those stickers in that little cluster there, and a couple of little tabs and a kind of banner right above my photos. And then the title, I just have "Love This." It's supposed to be a long title, and you guys know I struggle with titles. To you guys, you'd probably come up with something super cute, super fun right off the bat, but I never get them. So I put those little tabs and the banner, and that kind of fills in the space where the title starts. And then down at the bottom, the "Love This." And I do have some words and a phrase up in the top cluster as well on that right hand side. So I feel like there's enough title-y stuff going on there to kind of fulfill that part of the sketch. And so I'm just adding some brads here, and I added my stamping, and I have my tag, and I have the 60/40. Oh, and there is my little guy saying hello. He loves looking at the pictures now. So whenever I'm working at my desk, he has to like climb up, check out the pictures, see who I'm scrapbooking. And then he always says hi. Even if my camera's not turned on, he talks away and says hi. And he's telling you guys all kinds of stories. So yeah, and there was me just checking everything off to make sure that I had definitely not missed anything. I got them all. And so I'm just going to do this extra little splatter I felt like things just needed to be lightened up a bit. And I stamped my little heart stamp that comes from Wild Whisper. I stamped that in white, and I noticed it kind of just lightened those areas up a little bit. So I thought I'd use some Heidi Swap Color Shine also in white. And just it lightened up that background just a little bit. So I really like how that turned out. I did pop some things up here so you can see that. And that's about it. That is my layout. So I got washi tape, I got brads, I used stamping, I got the 40-60 split, and I got my tag that I made from a piece of paper in the collection. Oh, and washi tape. That's all 5 of them. So thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Please check out the links down below to everybody who's playing along with Scrapfive and the best of 30 days of sketches. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, happy scrapping. Bye.